Hi, my name is Carin Kreider, and I am a single mother of three sons. My oldest son is Tyler. He's 18. That's Tyler. My middle son is 16. His name is Dylan. It's Dylan. And my youngest son is 7. He was in the paper today, actually, so I'll show you him. That's Adam. And I currently am living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, graduated from Lampeter Strasburg High School, and have resided in Lancaster probably for most of my life. I did move around a little bit after I graduated college. I currently am employed by Lancaster County Children and Youth Services. I've been there since 2013. I am currently a screening intake caseworker. I also do standby on weekends and evenings for extra money. I moved to the screening unit in October of 2017 so that I could go back to grad school through the CWEL program and get my master's degree. Prior to coming to the screening unit, I was in the CPS abuse unit for 4.5 years, and I really enjoyed being in that unit and doing the investigations. Before coming to Lancaster, I worked for 2 years at Cumberland County Children and Youth as a placement caseworker. This course is the first course that I am taking for grad school. I am taking this due to availability and the CWEL requirements, but also I'm interested in any knowledge that will benefit me for my position in child welfare, especially any knowledge regarding some of the growing problems that we see, like truancy and sex trafficking. While working for Cumberland County, as I said before, I was a placement caseworker, and I had gotten a case with a 15-year-old boy who was a failed adoption. He had been adopted by his aunt and uncle, and they had turned him over to Children and Youth because they could not handle his mental health and behavioral problems. And I think he was about 15 when I placed him. So as everyone knows, there's not a whole lot of foster homes available for kids, especially teenagers. And his aunt and uncle did not wish to reunify with him. So he was placed in a group home, and I carried his case for a while. And while I had him, he had gone through family-based services, and then he was enrolled in some counseling. He was placed in a group home. And while he was at a group home, we were working on the pre-adoption services, and he had a child prep worker assigned to him to complete the child prep services. And I had received his report back from the child prep worker, and I was sitting in my office one day reading his report, and the question that was asked to him was who he feels he's the closest to. And in that report, he had stated to the child prep worker that the person that he felt the closest to was his caseworker, Carin Kreider. And I was just absolutely blown away by the fact that this kid thought that I was the one who was closest to him, and I only saw him every month or maybe every 2 weeks. But out of everyone in the world, the person he felt the closest to was his caseworker. And that really impacted me and impacted my desire to help these kids get connected to family members, friends, or people that they think are their family and friends. Prior to working in child welfare, I was a residential counselor for children and adolescents at Phil Haven, and I worked with children and teens there with mental health issues who were admitted to the residential treatment side of Phil Haven. And then after that, I was a child advocate for the Sexual Assault Resource and Counseling Center in Lebanon. And I was a child advocate for children 0 to 18 who were victims of sexual abuse, and I would provide counseling to them. And I did quite a few different positions while I was there at SARC, with assisting victims of sexual violence. So that's a little bit about me, and I hope you all have a good evening.